college football just keeps getting more and more and more interesting. And we're going to go over my college football top 25 going into week 9 and my top 5 Heisman contenders. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up. You enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Haven't decided on what we're going to be doing our watch along this Saturday on, but stay tuned. I will. Let's go ahead, get into the nitty-gritty with my 5 teams that just missed it. I should really just name this 5 teams plus 1, because you see these teams here. You could throw Washington into this conversation, as they are also a 2-loss team. So I'll talk a little bit about them when I get to the Beavers. But Maryland, they get the week off this week, which is good. It allows Tagovailoa to get some time to get healthy, because it sounded like he was a game-time decision. So doesn't sound like, at least in terms of the injury, it's something that I'll hold him out for a long period of time. He could be back for the following week. So they're going to sit here. Then we're going to wait and see with them. And then we have South Carolina just on the cusp, man. They're a team that they got that ugly loss against Georgia, but other than that, they've been playing good football. Fairly decent. They got a lot of talent on that squad, so they may make the appearance in the top 25 here soon enough. I got Coastal Carolina. They're back. They've been on this just missed it list for quite a while. They've flirted with the top 25 for quite a bit, because I just don't think they're serious contenders. But especially after the ODU loss, but this week they will get, I believe. I thought it was here at the bottom. Where you at? Where you at, Coastal? Well, that's right. You're not ranked. Let's go to the Sun Belt. So they will get Marshall. You can't sleep on that Marshall squad. They have a lot of, not great victories, or at least not great losses, but they do have some impressive victories, and you just can't sleep on them. They're going to be playing there in Jones C. Edwards Stadium, so it'd be a game to watch out for, at least for Coastal Carolina in the future. UTSA gets the week off after getting things done this week against North Texas. Another team I really like. Still got a lot of talent despite losing some of that to the draft last year. Now let's talk about the Oregon State Beavers and the Washington Huskies. Both teams only 2 losses. Both teams playing very good football. Really, you could put either team here. They're both on the cusp. Oregon able to get a very good win this week. The defense is just playing pretty darn well right now. And to be fair, I mean, it was Colorado, but I mean, it's not like their schedule is all that terrible for the rest of the season, as they get Washington November 4th. So we'll kind of answer that question. Who exactly is this team that should be in the top 25? So we'll answer that question, not this weekend, but the following weekend. Regardless, I got the Beavers here. Love to see it. Now, I have 2 fallers out of my top 25 this week, being Mississippi State and Kentucky. Mississippi State took that really bad L this week against Alabama. It felt like it was coming. They quickly turned from contenders to pretenders almost overnight. To be fair, that Kentucky game, they weren't in control for most of that second half. So, yeah, they're here. They're fallers. Texas, kind of sad story. Ewers probably had his worst game of the season, where he started out pretty solid and then just couldn't complete passes. He went like 7-19 at one point, and it was just sad to see, man, because I'm really rooting for this Texas team. This is a Texas team with a lot of talent, and kind of is what it is. They end up falling out of my top 25, but let's talk about who is in the top 25. Starting with 25, NC State. They had the week off, but they will not be getting Devin Leary back this season, so they're kind of at this like sit and wait, see what happens type of area, as they play Thursday night against Virginia Tech. Should be a very winnable game. Virginia Tech's not a very good squad, so they sit here at 25. Liberty with the big win over BYU, though I do believe that they face Arkansas this coming week. So I don't think it's this weekend, but the following weekend. Yes, it's the following weekend. So they get the week off. So they might sit here in the top 25 for 2 weeks until Arkansas comes a knocking. But then again, man, this Liberty team is playing pretty darn well. Check out my stock report video later today. I'm going to talk about a Liberty player I'm really excited about. Kansas State, they took the tough L this week. To be fair, they were down to like their third string quarterback. I believe Adrian Martinez got hurt very early on in that TCU game, and they allowed TCU to get back into the ball game. And I mean, a team that was working that hard behind early on, it's kind of rough to turn it around. They do get Oklahoma State this weekend, so another team that could be out of the top 25 after this week. LSU, they get the week off this weekend, but they had the big win against the once was undefeated Ole Miss Rebels. Lane Kiffin did come into that game, man, saying he didn't feel like his team was playing very good football. And it came to fruition, man, where Ole Miss got up early and LSU was like, nah, and then they just railroaded right through them. I believe they were up 17-7. And then basically LSU went on like a 31-3 run. It was rough. But LSU's here at 22. They do get the week off, as well as Tulane. They get this week off, I believe. But they pounded Memphis early. Memphis came fighting back late. Like they were up 35-0 early in that game. Memphis came from behind. I'm actually going to talk about two players from this game in my stock report. So check that out. I'm real happy to see Tulane here. I think they're legit contenders. They're in the believe they're in the American. And then Syracuse gets dropped here to 20. And it really sucks because it really feels like they lost that game against Clemson. They lost that game. They had it won. That turning point came on the third and very long with the unnecessary shove when Klubnik was going out of bounds, shoved him right after he got out of bounds, made it a first down. And essentially, it basically led Clemson back into the ball game. So Syracuse just wasn't able to put it away late there in Death Valley. Really unfortunate, but very good. It was honestly a very good outing for Syracuse. I was very impressed with them. I honestly thought they might have lost going into this game. I didn't think they had much of a chance, and that turned around early. Cincinnati, they had a close one against SMU, and SMU had to go to their backup quarterback fairly early as well, but they were able to pull that off. Cincinnati, who do you have? Do you have anyone this week, Cincinnati? Yeah, they get Central Florida, who's coming off a bad loss against, who do they face? Eastern Carolina. They got annihilated by Eastern Carolina, which strangely enough, again, if you don't need more reason to go watch the stock report video, I got an Eastern Carolina prospect on that. So check out the stock report. I'm talking prospects like all day, every day. Illinois, I believe they didn't play this week. I believe they had the week off, but they get Nebraska this week. It looks like they're in the driver's seat to be in the Big Ten championship game. That's why they have the bump this week. And we'll talk about North Carolina kind of also getting that bump for simply being in a bad division in their conference. Kentucky, they had the week off, I believe, as well. A lot of these teams getting their buys this week. But they get a tough one. They get a tough one this week as they're going to have to take on Tennessee, man. Like, Godspeed, good luck. Maybe they could catch Tennessee looking ahead to Georgia. But it's in Knoxville. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a good look for us to evaluate two very serious quarterback prospects in Hendon Hooker and Will Levis. So can't wait for that one. Then we got North Carolina. They didn't play this week, but they're in the driver's seat in their division. Basically, Clemson, they've already cleaned the house for the most part. They basically have an open path to the title game, and you could almost say the same thing about NC State. Or I said NC State. North Carolina, as they really don't play anybody for the remainder of their schedule. I mean, they get Pittsburgh this week, and Pittsburgh, there was a point in time where Pittsburgh was a very good squad. But, I mean, looking at the rest of their schedule, they really just have Wake Forest. I mean, you could consider NC State since they're still a ranked team for me. But, again, without Devin Leary, I'm just looking at that Wake Forest game, and that's going to be November 12th. So, good luck, North Carolina. Drake Mays is playing or Drake May is playing really good football. On to the top 15 with Penn State. They, I think they rolled this week. They rolled right through their competition. Who did they have? Well, I know they get Ohio State this week. That might be the watch-along game. So Godspeed to them. But they had, that's right, Minnesota. They ran right through Minnesota like a warm knife through butter. But now they get Ohio State. The only saving grace is at least they get them at home. So we'll see. We'll see, man. We saw what happened with Michigan. Maybe it'd be a bit different now that they get Ohio State at home. Then we got a slew of Pac-12 teams here, as these are all teams vying for the Pac-12 title. As you got USC, who they lost that banger of a game against Utah to the 2-point conversion. So it's not like I didn't feel good putting Utah ahead of USC, but Utah does have the win over them. Even though Utah has 2 losses this year, they're kind of slimy. While UCLA has the win over Utah. So it's like a lot of like this going on in the Pac-12. But USC, man, I still think they're one of the best teams in the Pac-12. So watch out for them. You can't sleep on Utah nonetheless. And UCLA traveled to Eugene, and you really felt the momentum shift. Like, not even shift. You felt this whole even kill of a game the minute the onside kick happened and was recovered by Oregon. It literally felt like from that moment UCLA lost the game because they could not stop Oregon on offense. They just couldn't. So hopefully UCLA can rebound. Let's see who they have this week, as UCLA has Stanford. So a Stanford team with not a lot of talent outside of Tanner McKee. And then Ole Miss, man, Lane Kiffin came into this game saying, man, he doesn't feel like his team's been performing that well this year, and that kind of came to fruition. It kind of came to fruition early in the week earlier against Auburn, where they allowed Auburn just to claw back in that game, and it's not like Auburn's a good team or anything. So Ole Miss, man, hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come for them, as they will have Texas A&M in College Station this Saturday. So I don't know, we'll see. But on to the top 10. Oklahoma State with a big, let me say it one more time, big win over the weekend against Texas. It was a real fun game to watch if you were watching it. Right now they currently only have the loss to TCU, and really the Oklahoma State has the easiest schedule from here on out, opposed to a team like TCU. Let's actually go take a quick gander at TCU's remaining schedule, as they get West Virginia this week. But I know they still got like Texas on the agenda. You can't sleep on Iowa State, best 4-loss team in the nation, and then Baylor. So even Texas Tech. So it's not like you can't sleep on the remaining schedule for TCU. But Oklahoma State, again, they have the loss against TCU, so yeah, they're going to be back here. Wake Forest, they continue to roll as they rolled through the competition this week against it was Boston College. Like, Zay Flowers had a good game, but it couldn't hold a candle to what Sam Hartman was doing. He threw for 5 touchdowns. So Wake Forest, really, they're just looking back at that overtime loss against Clemson like, man, we should be up there. We should be controlling our own destiny, not Clemson. But Oregon, man, this team's been on a revival since the stinking Georgia blowout. Like, this has been this team's just been different. Bo Nix is playing the best football of his career. They get to go against I'll say a gritty California team, but nothing too much to worry about. Their schedule going forward after Cal isn't too scary. I mean, they finished the year with Washington, Utah, and Oregon State. You can't sleep on those squads, but those are all very winnable games. Utah obviously being the biggest game there. But Oregon now kind of controls its own destiny. And it kind of talked about TCU controlling their own destiny. Let's just move to Alabama, man. Coming back and looking good. Destroying Mississippi State. They didn't stand a chance. Oh, man. if only they started Eli Ricks sooner, man, how much that made a difference to the coverage unit. But Bryce Young continues to be the backbone of this team, man, and he is the best quarterback in college football that isn't Hendon Hooker right now. So, yeah, gotta love it. On to the top 5, Clemson. I know, it feels like you want to just drop Clemson off a cliff after the debacle in that game. And again, go watch the stock report video coming out later. I'll talk more about the whole DJU situation. But benching your quarterback, sounds like they're going to go with him moving forward. They get the bye this week, so they could actually try to get back to like norm. Be like, okay, we started out really hot. Like, we were looking really good offensively. So what happened, man? That Syracuse game was a disaster. They're in control of their own destiny, though. They're in control of their own destiny. They have a straight shot to the ACC championship game. They just can't stumble now. Michigan, they're number 4. They had the week off, but I feel like they're a better team than Clemson at the current moment. Tennessee, they had UT Martin. I mean, they rolled early. They took their stars out after the second quarter. They get Kentucky this week, man. I'm just saying, Tennessee, don't get caught looking ahead to Georgia. Just don't. It's gonna be a banger game, man. It really is. Then Ohio State. They rolled through Iowa. Over and under was 49.5. And Ohio State was like, hold my beer. We're going to clear this by ourselves. And they did. They got 54. So they cleared the over again by themselves. So, again, just looking like easily the best team in the Big Ten. Or Big Ten. That's right, man. It always messes with me knowing the Big Ten don't have Big Ten teams. I always have to stop and think about it. But they get the Nittany Lions this week. They're at Penn State, so good luck. Let's see how that goes. And then Georgia, they this week will have Florida. So that by no means, you can't sleep on that. But by no means is it a team the caliber of Kentucky, though. I mean, Kentucky and Florida kind of had a good game, so you can't even sleep on that. But Georgia, man, they're a good squad. They had the week off this week. Don't think they're going to be caught looking ahead to Tennessee, but I think they're going to be rolling that game undefeated and ready. So that's easily going to be the game of the week in 2 weeks. So that's best prepared. That's probably our watch-along game. Let's go ahead to my Heisman top 5, starting with Blake Corum, man. He had the week off, and you know what? He deserved it. Dude, he's really put this offense on his back. 13 TDs on the season, 900 rushing yards. Good for you, Blake Corum. Him having the week off, it just felt dirty, knocking him out. And I could say the same thing about Caleb Williams, who had the week off, but has been playing good football, man. He really has. 22 total touchdowns on the season. So, he's been a difference maker. There's a reason Lincoln Riley was like, I want to bring my quarterback over here. And it's really changed things. So, Caleb Williams here at number 4. My big riser here has been Bryce Young, dude. Because this guy, the stats don't do him the justice. He's not throwing like these 4 to 5 touchdown performances like CJ Stroud. But he's doing it against better competition. Like, he's playing well against better competition while not having the type of weapons that Stroud has the luxury of having. He is really the Alabama offense. Him and Jahmyr Gibbs are the Alabama offense at this point. So, Bryce Young, man, just playing really good football. And speaking of which, CJ Stroud had the banger game against Iowa. There were some hiccups here and there, but for the most part, he showed off why he is considered a top 5 prospect in this upcoming draft. He looked good, threw 4 tutties on the day. Good for you, Stroud. But number 1 remains Hendon Hooker. No one's touching Hendon Hooker right now, man. The dude threw 3 touchdowns like somewhere halfway through the second half or second quarter and was like, yeah, I guess we're done for the day. Let's go ahead and call it quits. Like, this cat's just playing great football. Can't wait to see him against Kentucky. And then I really can't wait to see him against Georgia. That's going to be fun. Those are 2 very good defenses in the SEC. Let's see how Hendon Hooker deals with that. He's the best story of college football right now. Easy Heisman front runner. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.